Today, you're going to learn how to make Dad's famous chili powder and some variations, and you'll be in chili for the rest of your life. Ta-da! We got a selection of chilies here. These are called guajillos, and guajillos are the basic chili for Mexican food. It's kind of on the spicy side, so if you want a lot of chili powder flavor and you don't want to get too spicy, you probably don't want to use more than a little bit of this. These are California chilies. Sometimes you can get them as New Mexican chilies, and they have a nice sharp chili flavor, and you can put tons of chili powder in with this and not make it too hot. Or you can blend them together and get the flavor that you're looking for. These are anchos. They're smoked chilies, and they give you a really deep, dark, complex flavor. And I like to mix a little bit of ancho in with whatever other kind of chili I'm going to use, and mix the flavor broader. And this is cumin. Cumin is the other flavor that I put in chili powder, and also a little bit of salt. Just where to get this stuff? I always get this at an Indian grocery store because it's always the freshest if you go to an Indian market. They sell cases of this stuff every week for Indian food, not so much the Mexican places. If you get these at a supermarket, you should feel the bag, and if they don't feel leathery and squishy, they're powdery and they won't really taste as good as they should. So if you go to a Mexican market, they sell cases of these every week in a Mexican market, and you'll always be getting the best flavored chilies. So let's try making some. I used to make this with a knife, but I found it's a lot easier to use a pair of scissors. And the ones that you don't use, you just put into a baggie. Now, if they look dirty on the outside, these look nice and clean, but if it looks like you've got dirt, and I don't mean like they're soiled, I mean like real dirt from the field, you just wipe them off with a damp paper towel. But these look clean, so I'm not going to bother with that. So I'm just going to break off the top. This is crunchy enough to just break with your fingers. You take these little pieces and throw them in. Take all those seeds out. This one's a little bit on the dry side. It's okay. Not in bad condition. And we're going to just cut it so we get the seeds out. And cut the edge off. All the seeds come out. So there's a New Mexico chili. Put a couple of those in. So this is a pretty dry chili, so it's easy to work with. Not too dry though. Now I'm going to try a different kind of chili. Guajillo. And these are a little bit more leathery. And when they're leathery, sometimes they don't want to break in your fingers. If you leave the seeds in, they get hotter, but if you just rub it with your fingers, the seeds come, see the seeds? You just rub it with your fingers and the seeds come right out. And since these are a little leathery, I'm going to use my scissor and just put it in there. If you put the pieces in too big, the grinder won't grind them up very easily. That's good. I'm going to put one ancho in there. I always put at least one ancho. Yeah. Now the reason I'm cutting the name off the top is I'm going to take this little name and I'm going to put it in a baggie when I use the rest of the pepper, so I always know what it is. It's easy. These are very different. These are really leathery. And I usually don't talk too much when I'm doing this because the chilies will really get in your throat and make you cough. See how smoky that looks inside? Take those seeds out. Cut this so that I got long strips. And then cut the strips. That's good. Okay, and I see how they're bulky and they're just kind of sticking out of the top. They're going to get small. They're kind of rough. These big pieces haven't. Those ones have big pieces. Yeah, I'm going to grind it some more. I can see that's a fairly good grind. You got some flakes in it. And once you get it to that stage, it's hard to grind it up anymore. But when you put cumin in, put in about that much. And some kosher salt. Now that's going to make it grind even finer. You got to be a little careful when you're making a lot of this stuff, like when I make it for all of you kids for Christmas. When this thing starts feeling hot, you want to just stop, because it's not meant for grinding for a whole half an hour. But when you're making a single batch like this, it's not a big thing. There you go. Can't buy that in the store. So you can experiment with how you want to blend these together and get your the kind of chili powder that you like for different recipes. Hope you have a wonderful time with this. Merry Christmas.